Hello, I'm John McGrath. I'm a producer for Flatland at Kansas City PBS, and today Art House brings you the feature film Different Flowers. Different Flowers was written and directed by Morgan Dameron, shot right here in Kansas City, and Art House sat down and talked to Morgan not just about this film, but her other accomplishments, and her being J.J. Abrams' assistant, and her name ending up in a Star Wars movie. Your last name actually means something in Star Wars. Tell that story.
Sure. So I had the real privilege of being one of the first people in the world to read the Star Wars The Force Awakens script because I was sitting right outside of JJ's office while he was in there writing with Lawrence Kasdan. And I, would proofread for them. And I remember I was on page 3 of the script and Poe Dameron, was talking to BB-8. And I just couldn't believe my eyes. And I remember asking them, "Is he a good guy or a bad guy?" And he's like, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Well, I hope he's a good guy." And I am just so excited that, yeah, now, my name is a part of this Star Wars legacy. And, there's lunchboxes and Legos. And yeah, it still doesn't.
The name Poe came very early on, and he didn't have a last name for a long time. Morgan Dameron is my assistant, and it was a great last name. And in our putting different names up, attaching them to actors and droids and creatures, that one just stuck, and it felt right. But
Hey kids, you want to see Kansas City? There's Kansas City. Kansas City's gone. Apparently, this film was made in Kansas City. It was not. It was filmed entirely on location in Dameron's hometown in Kansas City. There's no way. Filmed in and around the Kansas City metropolitan area as a part of the Missouri Development Program. No way. It wasn't. It's even in the end credits. Filmed on location in Kansas City. It's the only thing in the end credits where it was filmed, and it was absolutely not. There are extreme problems with this. This is Cawker City's the biggest ball of twine. All right, you want to know where Cawker City is? You want to know? It's 3.5 hours west of Kansas City. 3.5 hours. So already there are problems here. Okay, now we're out in the countryside. That's not Kansas City. This happens all the. They don't want to film in Kansas City. Let's hear Morgan Dameron talk about her movie.
It's a story of two sisters. So the morning of the older sister's wedding, she gets cold feet and she runs out with her younger sister, and they end up at their grandmother's farm, and the grandmother's played by Shelley Long.
I know, I saw that.
Shelley Long, I love Shelley. I haven't seen her for a while. So what's so important about this story, that you tell this story?
I really wanted to tell a story that was set in the Midwest, that was set in my hometown. I'm from Kansas City, Missouri, not too far from here. And I have younger sisters, and I really hadn't seen a story like this on screen before about this really specific relationship. I really wanted it to be authentic. There's that push that you have with your sister, and there's just nothing like it. So I really wanted to tell a story about that and female empowerment. It's sort of about realizing who you are and taking a chance on yourself, and that's kind of what I was doing with this movie. Is I was taking a chance on myself to direct my first feature film.
Well, it looks really cute, and as someone who also has younger sisters, and even if you don't have younger sisters, it just looks like an adorable story and so fun. Is it a full-length film?
Yes, it is. It's a full-length film.
I'm so sorry that I hurt you.
Yeah, I just had to mess with it because there are. This is how it ends. All right, so she runs out on her fiance, bunch of extras in a church, and her sister gives her some vodka. Well, she offers some vodka. There's not a lot of drinking or anything in this. This is one of those Midwestern films where they don't. It's PG-13. Here's some more female empowerment right there. Some female empowerment. None of this is about female empowerment. Nothing of it. There's Rob Mays, who was so good in Don Coscarelli's John Dies at the End. Really, Morgan Dameron seems like a sweet person, but this is a part of a virus that happens. You have women from LA and New York coming in to Kansas to take advantage of local film credits to make a sort of vanity press kind of film. It's their first screenplay. They rarely do a second film. There's no follow-up film. Look, he's abusing her. You know, it doesn't go. It's not the sort of. I was really hoping for body heat, but no, you just get this. You know, it's not 9.5 weeks. Looks, they offer different flowers. And him, that's the fiance, and she tells him, and keep on. This is Raleigh Kane, is doing Transcending. She's from LA. She's in like shows like Longmire, I guess. I've never seen her. She's coming in. She's going to film in Kansas City this June. Did that look like it was going to be Kansas City? Because it takes place at a small farmhouse. So that's not Kansas City. It happens again and again. They film the countryside like this. They film the Midwest like this, as boring as you could possibly do it. Sometimes there's a drone shot if you're Patrick Way making a horror film, but no, this is it. And this film coming up is What We've Become. This is by Jennifer Nelson. This is around the same time. You might title this like pre-pandemic wish fulfillment films. There's always some element of romance. There's no guns. It's bland. It's boring. And this is another woman, this time in a blue car. She's a New York writer. She's come to town to help her heroin addicted sister. And wait till you see. There's not a woman like this in, this part of the country. This is not a heroin addicted sister. That's her. That's the heroin addicted sister. Now, it's based off the director's real sister who was addicted to heroin and died. And this is a fantasy film about the protagonist saving the sister, just as much as Different Flowers is a sort of wish fulfillment of something, of a kind of death loop of a film about a woman. But I'll get back to that. What it reminded me of was Sean Gunn. Sisters? Sean Gunn in this film, for whatever, reminded me of someone that I used to know. No, not that. But let me just tell you about it.
State leaders continue to push back on claims by a now presumed dead former employee.
Jonathan Clayton wrote an email to several news organizations, including the Kansas Reflector, before he disappeared earlier this month. Clayton claimed the lieutenant governor, who also serves as the Commerce Secretary, schemed to distort the scores of applicants for the Build a Stronger Economy grant.
He said that was done in connection to covert deals made with Senate President Ty Masterson and the then House Speaker Ron Reichman. The email argued Butler and Johnson counties received an inordinate amount of funding. A spokesperson for Masterson says the allegations are wrong. He said, quote, legislative leaders had no role in the department's scoring of base projects, and the Senate president never requested.
I knew Jonathan Clayton for a little bit, both in New York and Philadelphia, because Cynthia had been they had a theater company together called Brain Spunk Theater, and she had been in a play at the New York Fringe Festival. He says he talked to Bob North, who was a chief counsel for Department of Commerce, and Abby Works, chief of staff, and then the lieutenant governor, David Toland, who told him to divert funds to the base grant funds, COVID funds, to their constituents. He was found about 3 weeks later.
Yeah, Deb, Chris, we spoke with Clayton's husband on the phone. He told us Clayton's wallet, along with other items he owns, were found in the truck with the body.
This is the area where the Kansas Bureau of Investigation found the body in a crashed truck. It's just off of Highway US 50 and I-135 near Newton. Investigators say it looks like the truck ran off the road and crashed into a tree. On Sunday afternoon, the Harvey County Sheriff's Office says someone called saying there was a truck crashed on his rural property. When officers arrived, they found a dead man inside. The truck's registered owner is interim Peabody City Clerk Jonathan Clayton, who has been missing since August 3rd. The body has not been identified yet. We spoke with Clayton's husband, Christopher King.
Hi, this is Jose. I'm the co-host along with Ryan of the Clive Barker podcast as well.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey guys, go ahead.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Jonathan Clayton, the company manager. Eric is Crazy Face.
Oh, awesome! Yeah. What made you pick out this particular play to perform?
Our artistic director, Christopher King, has been wanting to do this show for about 15 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so we finally had the opportunity with this theater company and this excellent cast and the right timing and everything, and it was just everything kind of stars aligned, and this was a great show, and we've got a great space to perform it in.
Wonderful. You're playing at the Christchurch Neighborhood House, right?
Yes, yeah, it's an old city, which is the oldest part of Philadelphia. It's a great 100-seat theater, and it's right behind the church that George Washington went to when he was president.
Philadelphia was a shithole, but their apartment was pretty nice. We were helping them
Philadelphia's beautiful. I saw
move
pictures
to a
of
theater
the
in
area where the
Kensington.
theater is,
Yes,
and you got
that
those cobblestone
shitty
streets
Kensington.
and
This was
looks
before
amazing.
sort of the fentanyl shit that was going down there. I couldn't believe they wanted to move to Kensington. But long story short, there was a fight over some doors between Cynthia and Jonathan. She came home, and we lost touch with them for 10 years until we heard about this. Christopher may have been a thief, but he wasn't crazy. Anyway, his accusations pivoted to something else and were quickly forgotten in the wake of the investigation.
I think what we've discovered now, though, is that we have some statutory language that we need to address that will allow us to do more comprehensive background checks.
Nearly a year later, there's still no results of the investigation.
So I love the tagline, even a clown can seek redemption.
Yeah, it's very. I think it's very fitting of everyone can get redemption in something, and everyone's got a different journey.
But what it reminded me of is they too opened up a vintage shop on Main Street in a small Kansas town, and there's them cutting the red tape. And a few months after they found Christopher, and a week before Christmas, when the store was to close, their dog was run over by a car. Suspicious things happen everywhere, and you don't got to be Truman Capote to find them.
Now, obviously, you writer and director. So, what's your next journey? What's your next thing for you, Morgan?
My next journey is that my film Different Flowers is coming out this fall. So
I'm
you're
so
busy!
Excited. Oh, that's great!
It's my first feature film. So, I spent sort of the year after I made this short film working on that, and it's been incredible. I mean, we premiered at the Santa Barbara International Film Festival in February. We've been playing festivals all year.
The fun thing about writing this was
that I got to create my whole world to play in. I knew that it could be whatever I wanted, and it was really exciting to draw on personal experience and things that I really wanted to say, especially like strong female characters and people of diverse backgrounds, and I was really exciting to put that down on the page.
We've been playing festivals all year long, and we're coming out in theaters in September.
See, I'm going to give you a hug. Congratulations.
She had been one of the top executive assistants in Hollywood, and like Lena Dunham, threw it all away for her sister. She had even managed to get out before Rise of Skywalker. JJ didn't even executive produce the film. She'd gotten a full ride scholarship to USC, found work on the biggest blockbusters of the era, probably much to the jealousy of her peers. This aw shucks Kansas girl, but she didn't like it. What did she see? Did she want to leave, or did JJ fire her? She dreamed of home, and she blew it. It's been 8 years. How do you go from this to this? She should have made a horror film, but I guess that's what it turned out to be. All I know is one thing. USC is not a very good film school. She never sounded like a writer-director in all the interviews I saw. She always sounded like an assistant. An assistant who needed a hug after a long day. Maybe that's what these bad Midwestern films are about, trauma. She would soon fall to the lowest of the low. That's right, doing screenplay consulting. $250 a pop. And she couldn't even write. That's one similarity she had with JJ. What did she have to teach them? This section feels like a confession. It was one expensive hug.
Yeah, because Morgan's brilliant. 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 Talented filmmaker, so a really talented filmmaker, so a really talented filmmaker, so a really talented filmmaker, so because Morgan's brilliant, because Morgan's brilliant, because Morgan's brilliant, a really talented filmmaker, so